Hi, Dallas. How are you?
I'm good, Chris. How are you?
Good. Let's get right into that. Your character on The Walking Dead. I was kind of surprised that they offed you as fast as they did. I thought you were going to last longer because your character, in the I know not everything in the comic book is going to be the same as the TV show, but your character in the comic does last a little bit longer.
Actually, Milton doesn't exist as a like a singular character in the comic.
I thought he did.
He's sort of what he yeah he fills in on maybe some like doctory kind of roles and a scientist kind of role. I was trying to do the math there myself in terms of like is he going to hang out longer than season three, etc. If he did, how would that happen? And then, as it sort of was written and as it played out, it kind of felt like he was like born to die in a way, like he needed to encapsulate the sort of moral conscience of the end of season three, and that moral conscience was going to go by the way, going to go by the wayside in a rather sort of violent way.
It's kind of a shame because
So I wasn't surprised when, yeah.
it's kind of a shame because none of the prisoner characters lived.
Yeah, I know. They don't mind. I suppose it's like being on The Sopranos or something like. You're never safe. You read every episode and go like, "This is the time that I'm going to get it." As it turns out, when you get it, they call you like three episodes before and tell you you're going to go out.
Characters on that show die as quickly as they have showrunners.
Yeah, exactly. That is true.
I've never heard of. There has never. They said that The Walking Dead is the first television show in history to be this popular and to have 4 different showrunners in 4 seasons is unbelievable.
Yeah. Draw whatever conclusions you may need to draw about what that means.
It's a metaphor. The show's going to continue on for 9 seasons, but they're just going to be, as many people as they kill off.
Only 18 showrunners.
Yeah.
Exactly.
For every 10 people that die, one person has to be replaced in the behind the scenes.
Yeah, totally.
And it's now your character didn't really get to do a lot of like as much of the you didn't have to be put through the physical stress as much as any of the other characters, right? Were you relieved?
Yeah, I was at the beginning. I was, when they say, "Do you want to be a part of The Walking Dead?" I had this vision of sort of huddling under a sort of broken down car and letting the herd pass you while you nervously sort of try not to make a noise. And then, I showed up and it was the Woodbury storyline, which was a very different thing. And at the beginning, I was like, oh, like I kind of wanted to, like have a bottle rocket on a, slingshot or something and, like blow up zombie heads. But then, about halfway through Milton's day, he goes out with Andrea into the woods and takes a walker out so that she can sort of continue on to the prison. And the sort of intense heat and blood and that sort of thing. I was kind of happy to go back to the semi-air conditioned confines of Woodbury.
What was your favorite thing about working on the show?
I think probably getting to work with David Morrissey. He's just David, who plays the governor, is just he's a real actor's actor. He really understands his sort of role, and he doesn't take any sort of guff about it, but at the same time he's just such a like a pleasurable guy to hang out with and work with, and you never know what's coming when they say action, and that just that makes you feel sort of alive, and he made it really easy to sort of dive in that way. That was certainly the highlight.
Before we get back to The Walking Dead, I gotta say I don't remember who you were in it, but you were in one of my favorite movies of 2011, The Grey.
Yes, I was the guy who drowned.
Oh, okay. All right. I love that. I loved that movie.
Cool. Yeah, that was a fun one. Really, if The Walking Dead was, 108 degrees in southern Atlanta, that was northern Canada at negative 37 degrees.
Was the did you feel like that when you came on The Walking Dead that you had definitely a much easier time because of your setting is not the barren wastelands of the world, the apocalyptic world, and you're living in the shadowy suburbia.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, other than, having to go out on the sort of street and sort of bear the sun, like the rest of it was, it was quite comfy in terms of like we had like chairs and tables and ice water and, that was, it was certainly sort of an abrupt change from what I was expecting, but I think that also served its function in the beginning of season 3 when that episode opens on sort of like a cookout and like a sort of, 4th of July picnic type situation to, set that against where our heroes have been for so long. I think, it really did its job in terms of that contrast.
Oh, you were also. I also like to point out that you were in one of my favorite films of the last like 20 years, Joshua.
Oh wow, cool man. Yeah, Nico Muley, the guy who taught me to play piano for that part, he and I are still buddies to this day.
That's cool. Yeah, that's a really great thriller. Definitely, very very cool thriller.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, don't let that kid out of your sight.
Were you a big zombie horror fan before you got on The Walking Dead?
I wasn't, I mean, I sort of understood the sort of political implications of Romero's work, but I never sort of fell into to that so much, like right before The Walking Dead took over the consciousness, the vampires had it for a little while.
Yep.
And, like Twilight, obviously, and then, True Blood is still sort of holding up that thing. When I was a kid, vampires had it then too. What was that chain of Corey movies? The Corey and everyone who was wanting. I forget. The big sort of vampire movies of the '80s.
Yep.
So I came to The Walking Dead, on its own terms, which was fun in a way.
What are you What are you working on next?
I'm currently shooting a TV show called Unforgettable. It's on CBS Sundays at 9, and I got a film called The Dallas Buyers Club that should be coming out relatively soon. That's Matthew McConaughey and Jennifer Garner. He's on Jared Leto, whatever, and yeah, just now I'm sort of I'm playing a cop on network television. It's quite a change.
What was the best experience? What was one thing on The Walking Dead that you wouldn't like to repeat? What was some of the most grueling days?
It's funny, like probably the most. I mean, it's certainly the most grueling days are the days when there's, the whole town is in the scene and they're trying to get out of the gates, or they're trying to come in the gates and there's 75 people and it's baking hot and it just takes sort of forever to, it would actually, the most grueling stuff is stuff that on screen probably seems the easiest. And then conversely, the stuff that looks difficult, hiding from someone or turning into a walker in Nelson's case eventually, that's actually some of the most easy, just because it's so sort of rewarding.
when you're not making television series like The Walking Dead or The L Word. I saw you on the L Word. That was a favorite show of mine.
Yeah, when they call you up and ask you if you want to be Pam Grier's boyfriend, you as fast as you can.
When you're not doing that, what are you doing in your basic day-to-day life?
I make unlistenable dance music on my computer, and I learn to cook things that are way too hard for me to cook. And I've got two sons, so I try and teach them things.
Would you want to return to any type of television series like this with a grueling schedule or a something based on something so incredibly popular?
Well, yeah, I mean, certainly, like, all television is grueling, and I say that fully aware that I'm talking about pretending to be someone else being grueling. The hard part about it is that it's long hours, and it's repetition of the same sort of work again and again. There's a lot of people who have it a lot worse at their particular jobs than I do, so I don't want to, come off as not understanding that. I do enjoy the popularity that The Walking Dead has, and it was interesting the difference between when I was shooting the show and I could just walk past the fans of the show because they didn't know me because the season hadn't come out yet. And now, I go to get to a restaurant in New York, and the guy serving me barbecue is like, I really enjoyed The Walking Dead and that sort of thing. Like, that's been an interesting sort of shift to go through. But I'm really I'm really happy with Unforgettable. I'm happy with Dallas Buyers Club. I like to be sort of mobile in that way. I suppose if I was on, something that lasted a long time, I would spend all of my off time trying to cook up other things. Part of the lure of being an actor is trying on all those different hats all the time.
So it pretty much being on a show like The Walking Dead, which has got like 12 to 13 million viewers a week, it certainly opened up new doors for you.
Yeah, I mean, it's opened up a couple of literal doors, like every now and again you'll be at a bar that is too full, and the doorman will go like, "Hey, I know you, come in." Like, that's fun. That doesn't, that's not sort of a day-to-day occurrence. That's still quite rare, but that'll happen. And, career-wise, we'll see how that sort of shakes down. But really, the most sort of lasting impact is, fans of The Walking Dead don't kind of like The Walking Dead. They love The Walking Dead. So when they do, spot you, I tend to look different than Milton in my real life. So it takes sort of an eagle eye to sort of pick me out. But when they do spot me, they're, so generous and so sort of excited and so, thrilled, to sort of buy the show and buy that sort of experience. That it's really a fun experience from my side to have them, say how much they appreciate it.
Well, I really appreciate you taking some time out to come on the show and answer some questions about The Walking Dead. It's always great to talk to any of the cast members, living or dead. And I wish you the best of. I wish you the best of luck in your career.
Hey, thanks so much, Chris. We'll talk to you again.
Awesome, man.
All right.
Bye.
Bye now. Chris.
Thanks, Ed.
Take care.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right then. So, at any moment, Lauren.
Hi, you reached Dave Average. At the sound of the tone, leave a brief message. I'll return your call as soon as I can.
At the tone, please record your message. When you finish